Jordan, take one.
I've loved classic arcade gaming, you know, since before it was called classic. When I wanted to do a portrait of classic arcade game rivalries, and there's an interesting story about each of them: Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man, Joust, Q*bert, and Donkey Kong. And I was doing portraits of each of these gamers that were involved in a rivalry, and I discovered the story of Steve Wiebe and Billy Mitchell.
The King of Kong follows the evolution of this rivalry between the mild-mannered algebra teacher Wiebe and the flamboyant hot sauce tycoon Mitchell, taking the viewer into the bizarrely intense world of retro gaming.
Steve Wiebe is definitely the heart of the film. He is the guy who has never quite succeeded. You're rooting for him because you desperately want this guy to stop coming up short.
When I first met Steve Wiebe, I didn't think he'd make a good documentary subject, and I actually think he becomes a great documentary subject only in contrast to Billy.
Billy Mitchell is the undisputed king of Donkey Kong and holds the world record high score that Steve so desperately craves.
When Billy Mitchell walks into an arcade, you know, everything stops. There's electricity around Billy Mitchell. Everybody wants to crowd around him. Everybody wants to see him.
Billy's probably the closest person to being a Jedi of any of the players, and he refers to it with humor as Obi-Wan Kenobi-ing people.
Billy Mitchell is obviously positioned as the villain.
World Record Headquarters can help you.
The best part is this is a documentary about arcade games, which had their heyday in the 80s, and Billy Mitchell kind of looks like an 80s villain.
He is straight out of Central Casting. You could not have come up with a better fictional villain.
There's a lot of amazing sort of parallel cutting between the lives of Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe.
What was developing in front of our eyes was a classic David versus Goliath story, a sort of lifetime winner facing off against essentially a lifetime loser. The emotional story is about a guy who deserves to be first finally being given that chance.
It's real life Rocky. You know, it's the underdog trying to succeed, and you know, some bigger, badder, long-haired, hot sauce making hotshot is trying to keep him down, and he just won't let him. It's an amazing film.
Never thought I would wish ill to someone who played a video game, but I wish ill to Billy Mitchell. He's a jerk.
Not even Helen of Troy had that much attention.
So the whole reason I've been traveling around Florida is to meet the enigmatic Billy Mitchell, Steve Wiebe's nemesis from the film. And he invited me down to Florida to meet him at his new arcade, which is at the Orlando International Airport. So I want to ask him, you know, what does he think of the film, and how's his life been affected, you know, since the movie actually came out. Here we are.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually pretty excited to meet Billy Mitchell. I have no idea what to expect, but it's going to be interesting, no matter what. And there you are. Look at that, the magic of TV coming through. So we are on our way to meet, oh, there it is. Look, the King of Kong arcade. That is fantastic. Oh, look, there's his picture on the top. That is amazing. Awesome. Oh my God.
Excuse me, sir, the token machine's inside over there. That's where you'll need to get tokens.
I will get some tokens in a
Something
second.
I can do for you?
How are you, man? It's a pleasure to meet you.
Who are you?
I'm Morgan Spurlock. Nice to meet you.
I've heard of you, yeah. All right. Good for you to be a customer.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm going to come in and spend a couple fistfuls of quarters. So, what did you think of the film?
Well, I haven't seen the film.
How have you not seen the film? Come on. Really?
Really.
You've never watched the movie?
I've never watched it.
Not one frame.
Can you line up a polygraph?
I should have.
I don't see anything I'm in.
Explain to me the secret of the Billy Mitchell haircut.
Is it on straight?
It looks good.
I actually didn't get what we'll call rebellious until I was about 30. And just for some reason, I started growing my hair longer. And enough people like you made such a fuss about it. Well, I wasn't going to let you off the hook.
Yeah.
When you're riding home,
right,
you're going to be talking about this. When you get back
I was
there,
talking about it before I came.
people are going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
So
they're going to say, people already said, does he have the same haircut? I said, yes, he does. Absolutely. Was he wearing a red, white, and blue tie? I'm going to say, absolutely. Yes, he was. Was he nice?
Was he an SOB?
I'm going to say, yeah, no, not at all. He was the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
You shouldn't believe everything you see, though. I'm really not as nice as they make me out to be. I wasn't nice to you when you came. You've still got to go to the token machine before you get out of here.
we don't get games on the house? I read a description where you said, why would I want to be Luke Skywalker when I can be Darth Vader?
As I was sitting in Star Wars and the ship opened and Darth Vader came walking down, the crowd cheered, yelled, hoot, hollered, raised all kinds of havoc. And then the opening scene where Luke came out, one guy clapped.
So you are the Darth Vader of King of Kong?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched it. What do you say?
Oh, 7-6. Billy Mitchell wins.
All right, Mr. Spurlock, I'm sorry.
Oh, look at that. Good game.
All right.
I'd enjoyed my afternoon with Billy, but despite another triumph for the gaming legend, it was obvious how much had changed since the era of his prime. His arcade said it all. Pac-Man was nowhere to be seen, nor was Space Invaders. Pixels and power-ups had been replaced by machine guns and killer cyborgs. There wasn't even a Donkey Kong machine. And it seemed that the great man, too, was fading from the picture.
The depth of games today doesn't have the same depth of the past.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the games that we talk about, Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, yeah, they look good. They just don't catch much money.
Do you still play video games?
Almost never. In the summer, I have a little window of time to be able to play.
Okay.
But having a wife, a daughter, and a son,
yeah.
The time to play ran out quite a few years ago. You have to do what you enjoy in life. It makes the rest of life bearable. So that's why I got away with what I got away with. And then when kids and responsibilities got to a certain point, now I get away with it a whole hell of a lot less.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. Great to meet you, man.
You leaving already?
Pleasure.
You didn't even buy any tokens.
We're going to buy some now.
All right. And I got to get you some sauce to take with you.
Amazing.